All right. Well, Chrissy and we are doing double duty, trying to get caught up here.
Working overtime over the holidays.
Yep. Yep. So we're cranking these bad boys out. I think we're gonna do a annual Spotify review episode, but the Spotify website it's like crashed or something.
In review, it's not working.
Yeah, none of it's working. And we have so you have Spotify review, and they tell you about oh, this is what you listened to, this is what you liked, da 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 da. They
hmm
have that for Spotify creators, and they give you all of your stats. And so we were only a couple months into the pod when 2024 started, so our stats look amazing
That you went up 999% in everything.
in every
Said, wow,
because
we need to we need to do it again this next year.
I know. Well, because before we did the housemaid, we were probably getting 20, 30 listens, if that. And
Yeah,
now
if
we get,
that.
yeah, if that. Now we get way more than that consistently. So it's the stats look really good. But yeah, let's see if we can do it again one more year.
Man, I heard there's a whole kerfuffle about the Spotify Wrapped this year.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. Apparently they took away all the fun things and they just gave boring stats or something. I don't know. I haven't watched mine.
Oh, you know what I didn't like is that they were trying to do this thing with AI, being listen to this AI
Yeah,
person talk to you. And I was like, no.
that was it. People were upset about that. But I
Oh,
don't know. I haven't watched mine yet. So I don't know.
oh, interesting.
Oh, man, this thing goes so slow. I want to speed up. Oh, wow. Guess how many minutes I listened for?
How many?
30,000. Top 11% of listeners.
Wow. That's a lot.
I listened for 658 minutes on one day.
Wow. I
I think
wonder
that
what
was
you
a
were
road
doing that
trip
day.
day.
I was gonna
It was
say, are you
July
cleaning?
7th. Yeah, it was July 7th. So I think we were, wait, no, we were in Florida. Maybe it was cleaning. Oh, maybe
Maybe
that's
you
when
were
we were moving.
cleaning.
That's when we were moving. And I had
Yeah.
music playing the whole day while we were moving. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So then I looked at 2024 podcasts and I was like, oh, what are my podcasts? It better be Bookalicious Pod. And then it just shows the most popular ones ever. And I was like, this is an ad.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
stop
want
sending
it
me
personal for
ads.
me.
Yeah. I want to know about what I like.
Thought I came here to learn about other people.
Yeah. No, I want to learn more about me.
It's the only one I care about.
Yeah, my top songs in 2024 is this song that is used as my alarm
You listen to it every day.
every day. They're like, "You love this thing." And you're like, "No.
Do
No."
you want to share what song it was?
Yeah, let me log in. See if I can do it. I'm already getting irritated.
In case this doesn't get edited in post, it is very calm, peaceful piano music.
I know. And every morning I hear it, I'm like, "Oh."
You don't want to change it, or do you just want to hate one song?
I just want to hate the one song.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, close your eyes. I'm gonna
Okay.
do the other one, but I don't want you to see it.
You want me to be
Okay.
surprised?
I want you to be surprised.
Eyes are closed.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like.
This is the other song that's most listened to.
Oh my gosh! Why? The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
How many times did you listen to that?
We went to Danny and Anna's lake house. I think this is what happened. And we were playing code names. And so instead of like a timer, I just
Oh.
kept playing this.
Ah! Ah!
And
That's
then they would
so
be like,
funny.
this tile. Yeah. And I'd be like, is that your final answer? And they'd be like, yes.
That's a great time to play that song.
I know.
Oh my
So
gosh.
for the listeners out there, we had wanted to ask Kindred Kindles questions
When we did our
about Frida.
collab episode.
Yeah, when we did our collab. And I wanted to ask them these questions and then play the music and be like really campy about it. But it didn't feel appropriate because we were just having a normal conversation. I was like, if I blast this in, then,
It was more conversation, less interrogation.
yeah,
But
exactly.
interrogation would have been
Exactly.
perfect.
I know.
That's funny.
Okay. Well, so that's what's coming up on the docket. Probably after this Agatha Christie, then we'll do the end of year recap, which will be perfect because I think we'll be the end of December
Yeah.
at that point.
Should we try actually asking for listener questions this time?
Yeah.
We tried doing that last year but it was when I had to leave the country and I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah. Chrissy forgot to ask anyone. And she was like, we'll ask each other. And I was like, that this is
Well,
lame,
no,
but
no,
we'll
no.
do our
It's not that I
best.
forgot. It's that we were in a pinch and we needed more episodes. And I said, let's do a listener Q&A. But I came up with, it was because I hadn't read the rest of the book. It was something like that. And so we were going to record another podcast.
Yeah.
And I said, just kidding, I haven't read. But instead we have listener questions. And he said, oh, that's great. And I said, just kidding. I just thought of this idea. So it's just my questions.
Also, we were in the trenches of lessons in chemistry, so
Oh, we're so upset.
we hadn't earned any listeners at that point.
That's true too.
Our only questions probably would have been like, can we do a different book?
Why do you want me to suffer? What's worse, listen or reading through Elizabeth Zott's life in the book or listening to your 20-hour recap, hashing every
Oh my
detail?
God. That was our learning experience.
Yeah.
We learned
Yeah, lessons in podcasting.
lessons in podcasting. Yeah, so our friends of the pod, Meg, Anna,
Hello.
Faye Smith, wait, F. Smith.
You were thinking of Fox's Tongue, the Fae. Candy, we forgot to talk about at least two things.
Oh, what?
Maybe we do that in our recap episode too. Yeah, what if in our recap we also um go through the books that we talked about this year and maybe like any the loose ends or something. Something like, oh, I wish we had talked
Yeah,
about that. Although I don't know if I'll remember. But there are definitely things from Fox's Tongue that we didn't talk about.
there definitely was, and I had to cut it short because I kind of ran out of time. So
I
I think we
know.
could definitely do a little bit of a revisit there. And I was really thinking about the Fox's Tongue after we had finished reading it.
Mm-hmm.
It sat in my mind.
Hmm.
So I really want to read the second book. I also want
Want
us
to.
to email the author and we can ask if Allison is married to V.E. Schwab or is V.E. Schwab or is related.
I think she's going to think that's a wild question.
I think if we put a couple of normal ones in the top, just slide that one in the middle.
Yeah, I like it in the middle. And then the next one is another normal one.
Yeah, we're back to regular programming.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe we can think of some questions we can send because I bet she'll email back and then we can talk about Fox's Tongue and her email.
Yes. That'd be great. So
That could even just be the episode.
honestly, yeah, I would, I would
We'll
appreciate
see.
that. We would like double the amount of content on Allison M. Kovacs that's available. Currently,
Why?
there's
Because
none.
the only content is us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's nothing now. So
I know. I know. And this girly, I'm like, you need to get a social and you need to like plug it to people
Maybe she's just
so that
writing
they
for
listen to
fun.
us.
I don't know.
That could be. That's a lot of thinking to do just for fun. Although we do this podcast just for fun and I'm not promoting it at
Ain't
all either.
getting any
So
paychecks from this.
okay, well, I have the opposite problem from Allison Kovacs, which had no information and I had to make up stuff. Agatha Christie has like almost day by day detail
Oh my
of what she's been
gosh.
doing.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even get to the works portion or the criticized portion. Apparently, some of her characterizations and stereotypes had um some racism
Oh.
overtones in it. Yeah. So I didn't even get that far.
You know what? Maybe we
But you know
just keep
what?
it positive. It's Christmas.
I y yeah, I think we know that it's in there. It lives in there. I haven't found it in this book, but if you go through all of her books, you might find some some marks
Yeah,
of the
that's
time
fair.
period.
Although, when was she alive? Although I'm sure that was in your summary.
That's in it. So I'm just gonna get started because it's a lot.
Think you should.
Okay. We do the intro after.
Whatever we want it to be.
I think we do it
I think we do
after.
it after. Um,
I think we do it after.
and I don't know when we judge the book. We should write it down one day.
One day. All right, let's just do this author recap. We'll judge this book. We'll be done. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to our very professional pod. Okay.
Sounded like an intro.
Yeah. Okay. Born as Agatha Mary Clarissa Miller on September 15th, 1890.
Wow.
So maybe just a little bit after George MacDonald,
Interesting.
because he was like what, 1840s,
Yeah,
50s, I
he was
think.
somewhere around there.
Yeah. And she was born into upper middle class family in Turkey, Devon. Our UK correspondent, F. Smith, can let us know, but per Wikipedia, Torquay, you can let us know, is a seaside town in the southern part of the UK. So she's the youngest of three children, and her mom was born to someone named Clara and Frederick Miller. Okay, and this whole part, I don't even know if it's super relevant, but they had all these details, so I did it too. So it's gonna be confusing. So Agatha's mom, Clara.
Okay.
Clara's dad died when she was 9,
Oh,
leaving Clara's mom, aka Agatha's grandma, to care for Clara and her two siblings, so three little kids.
wow.
So Clara's sister Margaret was married off to someone named Nathaniel Miller and agreed to foster Clara, Agatha's mom. So that'd be like me. I went off and I married someone. That's like dad died. I married someone and I was like, you got to take my little sis. We're going to foster her.
Oh, okay. Well, so that at least makes more sense. I thought Agatha was the oldest sibling, and then I was a little concerned.
So this isn't even Agatha. This is her mom.
Oh, her mom got remarried.
Okay. See,
No, no, no,
anyways,
no.
confusing.
Okay, so the older sister got remarried and brought the little sister along.
Yeah, but the little sister Clara, that's Agatha's mom.
Okay, okay. Yeah, at first I thought it was the little sister had gotten married, and I was like, that seems strange. But okay, no, I'm following. I'm following.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So Clara's sister, Agatha's aunt, gets married, and she's like, you got to let me take Clara, Agatha's mom,
Okay.
and foster her. And they said, okay, cool. The person that Margaret married, he's like, I have this son, Nathaniel, who's 17 years old. And
He's looking
at
for a
some
wife.
point, at some point, he marries Clara. And I was like, this is so crazy.
Whoa.
He marries his foster sister.
Hmm.
He marries his married aunt.
You know, yeah, that's interesting. I've always kind of wondered about
Okay.
that because it's like, yeah, you know each other really well and you're not related genetically, but it feels a little strange.
It for me, it's a no. But
Red flag or deal breaker.
that's a deal breaker. You're my aunt slash my adopted sister,
Slash
deal
now my
breaker on
wife.
both fronts. Yeah. Yeah. So this family tree just turned into a circle. Okay. So Clara's Agatha's mom. She marries her brother nephew, Nathaniel, and they have three kids, Madge, Monty, and Agatha. Agatha is the youngest.
Okay.
Okay, so grandpa dies and he leaves Agatha's family about 300,000 US dollars today.
Wow.
So she describes her childhood as very happy. They're traveling, they're going on vacations. She has imaginary friends and pets, and she's hanging out with them. She's getting some girlfriends, having a great time. Agatha's mom, Clara, didn't think she should learn to read until she was 8, but Agatha, I guess, like taught herself through
Wow.
sheer will by the age of
Oh,
4.
what? What?
I don't know how she learned how to read, but her mom was like, you shouldn't learn to read until you're 8. And she's like, well, I'm 4 and now I know how to read. And I was like, that's commitment.
What?
So, I know. So then they're like, Agatha's a genius. Let's homeschool her. So they're teaching her all the basics. Everything's great. She like Dickens, Lewis Carroll, some other like very popular English authors. Loved it. Then tragedy strikes. Agatha is 11 and her father, I don't even know where he would be in the tree now. Father, cousin, I don't
Oh
know.
boy.
He,
Yeah, father cousin.
we looked it up. Yeah. Her father died, and Agatha describes that as the end of her childhood. So now with the dad gone, the family is like really struggling financially. So Wheel of
Gosh.
Time turns, history repeats itself. Agatha's sister Madge gets married off a year after her dad dies. Um, Monty serves in the British Army, so then Agatha was alone with her mom, Clara.
Oh, okay.
Clara then sends Agatha off to different boarding schools, try to refine her Ella Enchanted style. And
Yeah.
that was really difficult for Agatha. And one of the schools that she lived in was in Paris.
Okay.
After after she completes school, Agatha comes back to England. Her mom's sick now, so they're like, let's go to Egypt for some warm weather. I guess they got money.
Okay.
Maybe maybe Madge brought money back into the family. I don't know. They're traveling.
Interesting.
Agatha has a yep, they're in Egypt. They're back in England. They're doing things. Agatha, she has a robust social life. She's partying, she's riding horses, hunting, dancing. It says roller skating. And
What?
she was roller skating up and down.
Those must have just been invented.
Yes. And she had several short-lived romantic relationships.
Okay.
Agatha met this guy, Archie Christie, at one of the dances she went to. Now, this is important. This is timeline. Things start moving crazy because now we're in 1913.
Oh
The
boy.
war is upon us. Okay. So she meets him 3 months later. They get engaged. This is 1913. Archie was almost immediately sent off for World War I in August of 1914, and they got married in December of that year when he was on leave.
Wow.
So like they get engaged in like August, and then he goes off to war and then comes back in December for a short time. They get married.
Wow.
Archie is constantly traveling in the war. And so then Agatha's like, well, I'll start working as well. She volunteers as a nurse and then as an apothecary's assistant. A lot of her novels I was reading, the deaths will use like a type of poison.
Mm. She was studying.
And so she learned, yeah, she was secretly doing field work, learning how to do a murder.
Can you imagine if you were the husband and you like come back after war and you're like, what have you been up to? And she's like, oh, just writing. And you read it and it's all these murder mysteries where all these men die by these mysterious secret ways.
Legitimately, Frida McFadden, if I was her husband, I would be like, I'd be worried.
The men
I'd
don't
go to
end
witness
up well.
protection. No. Absolutely not. Okay, so Agatha retires from the apothecary when Archie was reassigned to London in 1918. So they got married in 1914. It's been 4 years. They really haven't been with each other.
A long
Now they're
time.
both back in London. Yeah, I know. In 1918. And they had only known each other 3 months before they got engaged. So this
Yeah.
was like being big.
That must have been like a new person. That's wild.
I know. Very interesting. So Agatha had been a big fan of detective novels, wrote her first detective novel, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. And this was done in 1916, so 2 years before they got back to London. That was featuring Hercule Poirot,
It's not Hercule. We never
which
looked this
become,
up.
will you look it up?
Okay.
Well, I guess we can both look it up.
Hercule Poirot.
Poirot.
Poirot. Wow, I really thought it was Hercule, but
I know.
that's good to know. Okay, so Hercule. Good
Hercule
catch.
Poirot. Okay. So Hercule Poirot, he is a Belgian officer with a magnificent mustache and the head exactly the shape of an egg, is how Agatha.
Hold his brain just
And
right.
yeah, and he is her crime fighting detective. You know who also has an egg head? Adam Sandler. If you watch 50 First Dates, have you seen that
Let me
movie?
see. Yeah. Oh,
So
you're
the
right.
idea is he goes on these dates with this woman who has amnesia. She forgets everything. She just keeps repeating the same day. She forgets after she goes to sleep. And they go on 50 dates and he falls in love with her. And every day he tries to make her fall in love with him. But then she ends up just like going into a psych ward for a little while. He's like, it's better for her this way. And she's a painter and she starts painting and she keeps painting eggs. And that's how you know that it's secretly in her memory because she can remember Adam Sandler's egghead.
No, they got breakfast together every day.
Yeah. No, no, literally, they're like, it's the shape of his head. It's a plot in the movie.
Wait, really?
Anyway,
What?
yes.
I thought she was remembering their breakfast together. I haven't seen it in
No, it's
forever.
all right. If I show you this image, you're gonna all right, I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna
Okay.
put it in here. And you're gonna know. Oh, I can't put it in the
You
chat.
can't?
This only accepts text. I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
There's no denying it.
That's what she paints?
Yeah, him with an egghead. Like
Ah, does this come
there's
up?
no other
Do
way.
they talk about this? Like, is it kind of a joke in the movie?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, she literally draws an egg on top of a man's body.
Yeah, this is not their breakfast. This is Adam
Okay,
Sandler.
okay.
Okay. So Hercule, you can imagine, is a Belgian version of Adam Sandler with a fabulous mustache.
Okay.
All right, so this happens in 1916, 2 years before she meets back up with her husband in London. A year after they're in London, Agatha has her only child, Rosalind, in 1919. In 1922, Agatha and Archie travel around the world. They go surfing in Hawaii, and they left Rosalind with her mom while they were doing this.
Wow. How old is her mom by this point?
Don't know, but they said, we need to go on a date, mom. We'll,
Honestly,
we'll be
makes sense.
back. Honestly, yeah. And they're like, we'll be back in a couple years. So they come back. Yeah. I think it might have been just like 1 year or 2 years. It was a
Wow.
long time.
Before
It was
phones.
certainly not a few months. Yeah, it was certainly not a few months. And it was certainly like her daughter probably forgot who her mom
Oh
was.
my
Okay.
gosh.
Okay. So they return to England after their travels. They pick up their daughter, and Agatha continues. She continues writing. Agatha's mom, Clarissa, dies in April 1926. This is an important date. Okay, so they went traveling around 1922. 4 years later, Agatha's mom dies, and she's devastated. Her best friend and her full-time babysitter are gone.
Oh.
In 18, yep, sorry, what?
Oh, it just said all.
Yeah. All right, so this was in April. In August of that year, Archie tells Agatha that he's in love with a friend of Major Belcher. I don't know who he
What?
is. A friend of Major Belcher. Nancy Neal, and he said, I want a divorce.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Agatha's pissed. Agatha and Archie, they're fighting, fighting, fighting. August, it gets to December. They have a blow up fight,
And she
and she leaves
murders
their home.
them. Oh.
The next morning, her car was discovered in a park with an expired driving license, clothing inside, and people started speculating that she had drowned herself in the nearby like body of water.
Whoa.
The story gets picked up in the news cycle and goes viral.
What?
Yes, in 1926. More than 1,000 police officers and 15,000 volunteers are looking for her.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, her childhood hero,
What? Yeah,
author of Sherlock Holmes, looks for her.
he must be. I would trust him on my case.
I don't know if you would because he gave a spirit medium one of Christie's gloves to find her, and the medium didn't work out.
Oh no.
Okay, story goes international and is featured on the front page of the New York
Oh
Times.
my gosh. What?
She's missing for 11 days. So this is happening like bam, bam,
That's
bam, bam,
lightning
bam.
in the 20s.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So on the day she went missing, it's known that she had tea in London. Then she visited Harrods department store where she looked at a Christmas display. When I tell you her Wikipedia was so long, every little detail was mentioned.
What? Oh my gosh.
Okay. So she was finally located on December 14th, 11 days after she was missing, in a hydropathic hotel under the name of Mrs. Tressa Neal. Or if you remember, Archie's lover, Nancy Neal. So she used his lover's surname as her.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. And then the next day, she went to her sister's residence and she stayed secluded for a time period. So no one's sure why she had this disappearance. Some people think it was revenge at her husband. Like,
Mm.
I'm going to cause a scene. Some people think it was a mental lapse and she was in a fugue state and she can't even remember what she did. And then some people think that she was attempting to frame her husband for murder.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. That's
Yes.
wild.
Yes. Okay. So that is December 1926. In January 1927, Agatha was, quote, from Wikipedia, quote, very pale. So her and her daughter sailed to Las Palmas, Canary Islands for a vacation. And then she came back and then got her divorce finalized 1 year after the
She's
initial
like, I
ask.
can only serve up these divorce papers when I got my summer tan.
Yeah. Well, Archie really missed out because Agatha is just about to get on her rocket ship to
Wow. She
millionaire.
got a lot of new
Yeah.
ideas for murder. She said, I know just how I'd do it now.
Yes. In 1928, Agatha left England and took the Orient Express. One of her
Mm.
books is called Murder on the Orient Express, which has also been turned into a film.
Yeah.
And that went to Istanbul, then Baghdad. And this is important because when she was in Baghdad, she met an archaeologist named Max Mallowan, who was 13 years younger than her, and sparks flew. They got married 2 years later.
Whoa.
Agatha became Max's sugar mama, and she funded several of his digs, his archaeological digs, and they stayed married till she died.
Wow. That's great.
Mm-hmm. In 1941, the British intelligence agency MI5, which is equivalent to our CIA, investigated Agatha after she created a character called Major Bletchley, who appeared in a thriller called N or M question mark. Apparently, MI5 had a code-breaking center called Bletchley Park, and they were worried Agatha was onto them.
Oh, what? Oh my gosh.
I tell you, this Wikipedia went on and on and on. All right, so this codebreaker asked Agatha, "Hey, by the way, how did you come up with that name?" And she was like, "You know what? I went on a train once and I got stuck in like Bletchley Park, and so I took revenge by giving the least favorite character that name."
Makes sense.
So then they crossed her off the suspect list.
She's safe. Just what a mastermind would say, though.
I know. Okay. Agatha won many awards in her life and was eventually given the title as Dame from Queen Elizabeth. And her husband, Max, was also knighted from the Queen for his archaeological work.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Her last writing was called Postern of Fate and was published in 1973, but her mind had already started to decline at that point, and some postulate that you can kind of see some of her Alzheimer's in the book.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Agatha describes herself as not liking crowds, loud noises, gramophones, cinemas, alcohol, and smoking.
Like
I was
the
like,
lady after
you
my own
sound
heart.
so boring. But also, I don't like crowds or loud noises or gramophones. And you know what? I'm so boring. Okay. Agatha does like the sun, the sea, flowers, traveling, strange food, sports, concerts, theaters, pianos, and doing embroidery.
She sounds great.
Yep. Agatha died peacefully in January of 1976 at the age of 85. Agatha had set up a private company to own all of her works by the 1950s, which she was earning the equivalent of $4 million US per
Oh
year.
my gosh. What a
Yeah,
baller.
I know. As a woman.
Exactly. I was just thinking about lessons in chemistry. Elizabeth Zott should
Hmm.
have called up her friend, Agatha Christie.
Honestly, yeah. And be like, how do I price this
Yeah.
stuff? And Agatha would be like, you need to start a private company, LLC, and hide all of your money. Okay. And that's where I ran out of time.
I think that's a great summary. Wow, that
Yeah,
that in itself could be a great novel.
I know. She's a very like well-traveled, well-read person.
Yeah. I think it's so funny because like the picture of her on the back of the book, she is such an elegant, sweet-looking old lady. And then did you read the like dedication for this book?
I like skimmed it.
She's writing to her brother-in-law, and she says, "You complained that my murders were getting too refined, anemic, in fact. You yearned for a good, violent murder with lots of blood. A murder where there was no doubt about its being a murder. So this is your special story. I hope it may please." Anyways, I read that before I read the book, and I was like, this sweet old lady is making a murder with lots of blood?
Well, so I had forgotten about that note, and I was expecting it to be poison
Mm.
because a lot of her things are poison. So I think that might be like the central plot.
Oh.
So this one, this is a slasher horror
This
film.
one did have a lot of blood, as we now know.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's do judge a book by its cover, the intro, and then the book
I
recap.
think so. Thanks for doing that summary.
Yeah.
Okay, so judge a book by its cover. I think we have the same book, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is like the new edition or something, but it has a really nice, like wintry, snowy background, and then there's a red ornament, and it's cracked. This looks like a new book. Like it looks like a new, maybe not rom-com, but like thriller kind of book,
Yeah.
like beach read kind of thriller.
Yeah.
So
I would say so.
So I don't know if I would pick it up because I'm generally not into that kind of genre, but I do really like the cover.
I like it. And if you look, there's a small fine print that says previously published as Murder for Christmas / Holiday for Murder.
She kept going back and
And
forth
I
on
feel
the name.
like, yeah, well, yeah, I guess like they're like, maybe if we publish it like this, it'll sell more. Maybe this or that. I kind of feel like that would make me more interested and it's more descriptive than Hercule Poirot's Christmas.
Yeah, the title doesn't say a lot, and honestly, the cover also doesn't say a ton.
Yeah.
So
I probably wouldn't pick this up if I didn't know that it was Agatha. If Agatha Christie wasn't on it, I probably wouldn't pick it up.
yeah, I think so too. That being said, I do like the cover. Like, I think it's nice.
It's very pleasing. It
Right.
just doesn't give you any, there's just nothing to give me any information about this. So if I'm at a bookstore, it's, it's not pleasing enough for me to like pick it up,
I
I
think
guess.
you're right. Not intriguing enough.
Yeah. And for a murder mystery, I want to be intrigued.
Yeah. Page 1. Page 0, the cover.
Yeah, page 1. Exactly.
Give me my Frida, eye in a lock.
Yeah, the eye and the key.
Yeah,
Exactly
the eye
right.
in the keyhole.
Okay, so are we gonna do this thing?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you've heard our intro on Agatha Christie. Here's our intro on Candy Chrissy. Didn't work as well.
No.
I tried. Well, this is Bookalicious, a podcast where two sisters chat about books we're reading. I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Candice.
And today are you Agatha?
I wanted you to be Christy. I was like, it's right
Oh,
there.
I can redo it. Welcome to Bookalicious, a podcast where two sisters chat about books we're reading. I'm Christy.
And I'm Agatha. No. We're Chrissy and Candice. You got it. All right, let's go.
Yeah, you found us out. And today we are recapping the first part of Hercule Poirot's Christmas by Agatha Christie. And we are going up until part 4. So the book is divided by days. So that's December 22nd to the end of December 24th.
Yep. We're gonna pick up next time, Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm. 'Tis the season.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I think in lieu of a summary, we're just going to go through all the characters. Well,
Yes.
should we say the overall? Okay, I'm going to say a one sentence overall summary of what we know so far.
Yes.
And then all the characters. Okay.
Yep.
So overall summary. There's this guy, Simeon Lee. He's an old crotchety grandpa. He has some kids. He's been estranged from some of them. But it's Christmas time and he says, hey, I want all my kids to come back here for one good Christmas together. He gathers all the kids around and then he has there's a lot of drama going on and he likes to stir up the drama. So yeah, no, he's kind of like pitting the kids against each other. Then he calls them all in for this family meeting, and in front of all of them, he calls his lawyer and is like, "I'm going to rewrite my will because needs to be updated, and I need to move my money around." Okay, that's Christmas Eve. Later that night, after everyone's had dinner, Simeon Lee has been in his room by himself all night. But then they hear all this furniture banging around the room and they hear this terrible scream. They all rush up and they find Simeon Lee with his throat slashed and he's in a pool of his own blood. And now they're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? So then the police come in along with Hercule Poirot, the world's greatest detective. And now they're questioning all the family, trying to figure out what just happened here.
Yes, exactly. So if anyone, this is going to be lost on you, Chrissy, but if anyone has seen the very popular show Succession,
Nope.
it is same. It is a very similar flavor of you have really rich dad and all of the kids kind of like trying to either jockey for the inheritance or just totally go the opposite way. So the first part of the book, we're really just kind of setting up each of the different children and their partners and basically seeing who are the potential murderers. And it's like a classic whodunit.
Right. Yeah, lots of characters. But by the end, I was like, okay, I pretty much know whoever it is. At first, it was a little confusing.
It was very confusing at first, and I was like writing it down. But once I had like the visual,
Yeah.
I felt good about it.
Yeah. Okay, so should we go through our character map?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll start. So we have old Simeon Lee. Okay, so things we know about him. Old, crotchety,
Very rich.
very rich. That's true. He did some business in South Africa with Ebenezer.
Scrooge.
That's what it sounds like.
Ebenezer Farr.
Farr. Yeah, that's right. Ebenezer Farr. And we don't know much about that, but we do know that he like wronged somebody or something, but we don't know what that was. Okay. But apparently he was good friends with Ebenezer. Ebenezer had a kid. He liked the kid. The kid comes back in this story. So that's why we mention it. We also know that the Lees and the Simeon Lee mentions this multiple times. The Lees keep grudges. And so he won't forget when somebody wronged him and he'll take revenge, even if it takes years to get to it. So we know that's part of his character.
Simeon Lee has about $10,000 at the time, worth of uncut diamonds that he keeps in his locked safe, and he pulls them out and he just kind of
Plays with his
gremlins over
yeah.
them. Yeah,
Counts his
my
coins.
precious. Yeah, it counts as little diamonds. And supposedly no one knows about it, but it sounds like he's always pulling out his diamonds looking at that. So I think everyone knows about the diamonds. The diamonds go missing shortly before he gets murdered.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. Let's see. He also had a wife who died a few years back, but his kids remember him being really just mean to the wife, didn't think much of her, thought she was really like stupid. And so this really bothered one of the kids, David in particular, but we can get there later.
I think we should get there now.
Oh, okay. And anything else on Simeon Lee?
I think those are the big things.
I think so.
He's also very frail. So the other thing is like they called him an invalid, where it's like he needed help getting up and down. So
That's
he
right.
couldn't have been moving the furniture around or slashing his own throat.
That's right. Oh, one last thing.
So it can't be a suicide.
Yeah. Unless someone helped him with the suicide.
Give me your hand, Grandpa. Like, no.
Well, you never know. One other thing though with Simeon Lee is that same day he was murdered, his diamonds went missing. Someone stole them. And so he
Yes.
called the police and he said, "Hey, my he said, "Hey, come over here and pretend that you're here to ask me for money." So the detective comes and then he goes up to Simeon Lee's room. And then Simeon says, "Actually, I don't want you here to ask me for money. I want to tell you that my diamonds have gone missing and it's either a servant or a person in my family. I'm going to find out and you should come back later tonight at exactly 9:15 and I'll let you know what I find out." The detective says, "Okay." He comes back at 9:15 and that's exactly when Simeon Lee died. So that there seems, I don't know, suspicious. That's why I think the grandpa was in on it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like old Simeon Lee killed old Simeon Lee to frame someone else, perhaps, like you said, for revenge.
Makes sense.
Okay, so he has 2, 3, 4. He has 5 different kids, and we'll go through all of them. 4 boys and 1 daughter. So the first son that we'll go over is David.
Okay. Yeah, so David loved his mom. The book was kind of weird. It was like David loved his mom so much. It was like he was more of a daughter than he was a son. And I was like, that's a weird description.
He's like, I know. They kept calling him queer. Maybe this is what the end of that Wikipedia thing was saying. And I didn't get that far to the stereotypes. But he's like the stereotype of what I'm imagining what someone would consider like a closeted gay or something like that. Very like attached to his mom, called queer constantly.
Well, that meant something different.
Very,
remember, like,
well, okay.
yeah, queer doesn't mean the same thing.
I guess that's true. Just strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not closeted gay. All right. Well, all right. He was just a mama's boy.
Yeah. I think that's probably it.
So much so he was almost like a little girl.
Apparently, according to how the detectives describe him.
But yeah, so he's mama's boy. He sided with mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he took care of his mom. Once she died, which was like 20 years ago, he left the house. So he really hasn't seen his dad in like 20 years. He got married to, what's her name?
Hilda.
And Hilda seems like a very nice lady. People like her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing that we left out of the summary that we'll bring up now is that when the dad called in all of the kids for like, family meeting or whatever, the day of his death, and he calls the lawyer and says, "I'm going to change my will." After that, he yells at all of his kids and he's like, "You guys are all good for nothing. You never had kids, blah, blah, blah." And basically has something mean to say to each of the kids in particular to rile them up, to make them just ready for murder. That's how I'm reading it.
To give them all a motive.
Yes. Yeah. No one is safe here. So the thing he says to David, oh shoot, what does he say to David? He said the Simeon Lee started saying all these terrible things about the mom. He said, "Oh, your
The
mother was a
mom.
louse. Didn't have a brain in her, and she passed that on to all you kids." And so it made David really upset. So that's what he did to rile up David.
Yeah, and it kind of sounds like David is very similar to his mom, so that's probably also why he takes greater offense because
Yeah,
old Simeon Lee at one point he says something like you're as dumb as your mom.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and David is I put in his like quick description, he's the artist.
Yes, that's his job.
He's the
Should we go
artist.
through all their alibis for the time of the murder? Do we remember that
Let's
offhand?
go.
Or we can just go through the.
I don't remember that offhand. Why don't we go through the character list and then we can go through the alibis
Okay.
because I think that would be good.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so that's David and Hilda. Who's next?
I think we should do Alfred and Lydia because that's kind of
Okay.
the counter brother.
Yeah.
So I can do that one. So Alfred, if David's the mama's boy, Alfred loves his dad. He's very loyal to his dad. He lives with his dad, with his wife, Lydia, who I think she's described as is she described as very fashionable? One of the women is described as very fashionable. One of them is described as very fat.
I think
And one
Hilda
of
is the
them,
unfashionable one. I think Lydia is
yeah,
fashionable.
I think Lydia is fashionable. So Alfred and Lydia, they are basically like his full-on caretakers. They take care of the estate. They live there. He's very loyal to his dad. Lydia thinks that is it Lydia that thinks that the dad takes advantage of him?
Right, because the dad basically orders them around all the time. And so Alfred and Lydia will have plans to travel or something, but the dad is like, "Oh, what will I do though if you're not here? You must stay." And then they change all their plans and they stay. So Lydia is upset with the situation.
It kind of seems like Lydia doesn't really respect Alfred.
Yeah.
It's like a man.
And I think the dad doesn't super either.
No, the dad actually hates his stinking guts. He's a whimpering little puppy, always
Yeah.
looking at me like, ugh,
He does whatever I
I'm
say.
so mean to you. Yeah, like I'm so mean to you. You never stand up to me. One
Mm-hmm.
of those like weird psychos. So that's Alfred and Lydia. So David the artist, Alfred the loyal. Then we have George and is it Magda or Magdalena
Magdalene.
or Madge? Magdalene. And George became a politician.
Right.
But Magdalene is a big spender. So she's always dressed to the nines. She has all the stuff and they get a stipend from old Simeon Lee. And Madge was like, why don't we ask for more money because this isn't enough?
Right.
And so he's like, I haven't seen my dad. Well, I guess he sees his dad semi often.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, so one of the other things with Magdalene is that she's like platinum blonde who's like 20 or 30 years younger than George or something. So everyone's like, why are
Oh,
they
yeah.
together? She's so bored. What's going on there? And so yeah, she kind of
Yeah.
seems like she might just kind of be in for it for the money.
A little bit of a gold digger.
She likes the finer things in life.
Yeah. And George seems like a very sweaty, stinky politician.
But his constituents like him.
And so, yeah. And so when old Simeon Lee was giving everyone a motive, he told George, I'm going to cut down your stipend.
Right. Right. And he said, and maybe your wife should be in
And
charge of the budget.
yeah, exactly. And he made like a lot of like rude comments to both of them. Okay. So we have Alfred the loyal, David the artist, George the politician.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Harry the prodigal son.
Yes. So Harry, is he the oldest?
He might have been.
He maybe was the oldest. I'm not really sure. But Harry is kind of the most like Simeon Lee. Like they both kind of want like to have fun, to go on adventures, to like fly by the seat of their pants kind of thing. So when I forget how old he was, but Harry left the house at some point and lived his like prodigal life and was apparently asking the whole family for money while he was doing his world travels. And he did something very disgraceful and disgraced the whole family, but we don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
you've seen Malcolm in the Middle?
Mm-hmm. Francis?
Francis. Always getting into trouble, always causing problems, only calls home because he needs money. He always has some
Mm.
grand idea. Hey, Dad, will you give me some money? I'm going to invest it in this like zany harebrained idea that's not going to make any money type of thing.
Yeah, I could see that. Kind of like a Francis. But it sounds like he was more
Yeah.
successful in things.
Well, I don't know. If you're always calling
Well,
asking for money, that
I
doesn't
guess
scream
that's true.
success.
I guess that's true. Yeah, we don't really
It
know what
sounds
he's been up to.
it sounds like he had stopped calling at some point, so maybe he figured it out. But when he came back, he's like, I'm moving in. I'm the prodigal son. So the story of the prodigal son is that the son leaves the rich dad, wastes all his money, and he ends up living in a pig slop,
Hmm.
eating with pigs because he ran out of his money. So then he goes home, and then the dad's like, "So glad you're here. Let's have a feast for you." And then the brother who stayed, who would be Alfred in this case, gets pissed because he's like, "I've been here the whole time, and now you're going to give him, this guy who ran out on us, all this stuff." But
Hmm.
Old Simeon Lee loves Harry way more than Alfred, even though Alfred is always by his side taking care of him.
Yeah. Yeah. And he knows that Alfred and Harry like have some beef between them, but he keeps like putting them together and he's like, you guys are gonna be friends. What's wrong? But he's just riling them
Hmm.
up. But even in the whole like showdown when Simeon Lee calls all the kids there, he even says to Harry, he's like, I've always hated you too. Right?
Yes. Yeah. He's like, I hate all of you. He's like, I hate you the least, maybe.
Yeah. He doesn't like any of them.
He might understand Harry the best.
That's possible. Yeah, I think in reality he probably does like Harry the best, but in that moment he didn't have a nice thing to say about any of them.
Yeah. And part of the reason why he had to cut George's, the politician's stipend, is because he's like, Harry's going to live with me now. I need more money for Harry.
Yeah. Sorry.
As if they weren't, yeah, already mad at him. Then the last person in here would be Jennifer, his only daughter, but she died
Hmm.
a year or two ago. And so her Spanish granddaughter, so she married a Spaniard person.
Hmm.
So her daughter, Pilar, the granddaughter, she is in Jennifer's place. And they talk about how beautiful Pilar is
That's all
constantly.
they say.
They only talk about how beautiful she is. And I'm like, how old is this girl? It sounds like she might be 14.
I was thinking maybe a little bit older, but yeah, it's a little creepy. Everyone's like, I just couldn't help looking at Pilar. She's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Harry's like, I wish I wasn't your uncle.
I know. Maybe that was drawing from family history.
Honestly, yeah. He's like, this is our first time meeting. It's totally fine. Yeah. So definitely like a lot of weird sexual tones with
With
Pilar.
Pilar.
But Pilar, yeah. Old Simeon Lee loved her though.
Yeah. Well, okay, but this was his first time meeting her. That's why I was kind of confused, right? It's his first time meeting her? Or no?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think he's just an old scoundrel dog because it sounds like he was cheating on his wife all the time
Yeah,
with
probably.
hot young things. And now here's his granddaughter, and he's like, look, it's a hot young thing. I mean, it's creepy.
Yeah, it's very strange. But okay, so this story starts on December 22nd. Simeon Lee dies December 24th. So he has seen his granddaughter for a total of 2 days. And it was just weird because when the detectives were questioning her, they were like, "Oh, did you and your grandfather like talk much?" And she's like, "Oh, yes, I sat with him all the time." I'm like, "All the time? It's been less than 48 hours."
She's trying to burrow her way into the
Into the
will.
will, I know. Okay, because that's what happens. She shows up to the house and he's like, I'm so glad to see you. It's so great to have a young face in the house. And then she does sit with him for like hours, I guess. And he tells her stories about South Africa and all these things. He shows her the
He
diamonds.
shows,
Hmm.
yep, he pulls out the diamonds and he's like, look at these diamonds. And she's like, oh, interesting.
Unimpressed.
Unimpressed. No, she memorized the safe
I
code.
know. Pilar's pretending to be
Hmm.
like, I have no idea what's going on. But
Yeah.
She's smart.
And so the insinuation when old Simeon Lee is calling the lawyer to be like, I need to redo my will. I've had some major updates. The major updates is Harry and Pilar coming to live with him full time.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know.
That's yeah. So Pilar knows she's in good hands now. Oh, the grand Simeon Lee though says that he's going to update his will after Christmas.
After Christmas,
Key
yes.
detail. So
That is a key
so
detail.
what's her face? Pilar wouldn't have a lot of incentive to kill him because she should
Or
get her
Harry.
comeuppance. Yeah, they should both be getting their perceived better will after Christmas.
After Christmas, yeah. So that kind of puts them in the unlikely category of murder
Of what we know.
of what we know. Okay, then we also have Stephen Farr. This is the son of old Simeon Lee's South African business partner who they found the diamond mines together.
Yeah, and so in the very first like section, like the very first few pages of the book, we meet what's her face? Pilar. Pilar is on the train, and Stephen Farr is also on the train, and they meet. And there's this really interesting situation where they're talking, and he's like, "Oh, where are you going?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to this city or whatever." And then he sees the address like on her ticket or like on her suitcase, and his like eyes get really wide. But then they don't talk about it, and then they go their separate ways. I'm curious if this actually isn't Stephen Farr. And he just saw the address and he said, "Oh my gosh, this is where Simeon Lee lives. I've got a bone to pick with him. I'm going to pretend to be Stephen Farr
Oh, interesting.
and pretend. And so then I can go kill him."
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I didn't think of that.
I just thought that was a weird interaction.
That was kind of a strange interaction. He would still have to know Simeon Lee to some degree to be able to say, I'm this name, your business partner's son.
Because he was also working with them in South Africa. And that's when Simeon Lee, he did someone dirty. And he never said what it was. But this guy's come back.
Interesting. Oh, I could see that. I had a thought that maybe there's a scene that we missed between Stephen and Pilar where they cooked up a plan.
Oh, that would be interesting. I like that idea.
Yeah, I could see either one of those turning out.
Yeah. I like those.
But there is a note, Stephen Farr, when he shows up to the house, he notices that Pilar's eyes kind of like get big for a second, but then she's like cool as a cucumber.
Right. So she
And
seems
he was
surprised
impressed by that. Yeah, which would take away from the plotting, but I was like, sometimes authors just throw those types of things in there for,
Yeah.
throw you off the track.
Yeah. I did have another theory about Stephen.
Oh, what is it?
So my other theory is that Stephen Farr is actually Simeon Lee's son. So when they were so when Simeon Lee and his business partner were down in South Africa together, Simeon got with business partner's wife. She gave birth to Stephen, and the business partner maybe had no idea or something, but it's actually his son. Because when Harry comes back after 20 years, he looked a certain way in the window of the door, and the butler was like, "Oh, he looked like this." And then when Stephen comes to the house, he looked the same way, and the butler thought it was Harry again.
Oh, Chrissy, genius.
I know. So I'm wondering if they're actually related, because one of the things Simeon Lee said when he was giving all the kids their what for, he was like, "I probably have kids all over the world who are way smarter than you guys, even if they were born out of marriage."
Yeah. Sounds like he was cheating on his wife every day.
So it could totally be Stephen.
1 bazillion
And I
percent.
think Stephen somehow knew that that Simeon Lee took advantage of of who he thought was his father, and now he's come to give revenge. So either he's actually Stephen Farr, and he wants to seek revenge for his father's sake, or maybe he's pretending to be Stephen Farr.
Well, and it would be a good alibi because he basically, although Stephen Farr, when he gets interrogated by police, he's like, "I'm not guilty,"
Oh,
and they're like, "No one said you were."
I
And he's
know.
like, "Okay, but I'm not."
You're like, Stephen, come on. You had to have thought about this.
Yeah, so it kind of at first I was like, that seems so strange, but I could see it where it's like if he's not really Stephen Farr and he's trying to be like, this person would have no reason to kill old Simeon Lee. He barely knows him.
Yeah.
But it's because he's masquerading as someone else. That would make a lot of sense.
I think there could be a lot there.
Okay, so once Poirot gets on the case, he starts interviewing everyone one by one, and you start hearing their stories. And it's kind of like we're playing a game of Clue
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. And so you're trying to figure out who has an alibi and whose stories are being corroborated or discounted
Yeah.
by each person. So should we go through that? Would that take forever? Because I didn't write it down.
I know. I didn't write it down either. I feel like maybe let's try to go from memory, and probably it'll be close enough. You think?
Okay.
Oh, we haven't gone through the butlers either, though. Those are important characters.
Oh, yeah, we missed the butlers. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we
Yep.
have two main butlers. One is Harbury, who, like, I can just imagine if this was a movie, he would be like the comedic relief because he just like walks silently around and then he all of a sudden shows up and everyone's like, "Oh, Harbury, stop doing that."
He's their little ninja butler.
Yes. And so Harbury, he's described as like he probably listens behind all the closed doors and he always knows what's going on because he's just so stealth. But everyone's like, well, whatever, it's Harbury. And he's just been there for a little bit over a year.
Yes, he's been over there just a little over a year. And then the suspicious things with him. Oh, there's the other butler.
There's
Who's the other butler?
not like Tertullian, it's something like that.
Yeah, it's like Tresemme.
Tresillian.
Tresillian. Yeah, Tresillian is like the family butler. He's like, you can imagine, 110 years old, and he's just shuffling around that place like a ghost.
Yeah. And he's like, I keep this place well kept and in good order. And he like knows been with the family forever.
Yeah, so Horbury, the ninja butler, he's like polishing a coffee cup, and Tresillian comes up and like says something about the police.
Mm-hmm. He said the police
And-
called.
Yeah, and he like drops his glass. He's like, "Woo!" And then Tresillian's like, and then Harper's like, what did they call about? And what did he say? He's like, oh, they wanted to make a donation or something.
Yeah, they were asking for donations.
And then he was like, oh, okay, crazy. He's like, well, I got to go to the movie theater. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Did anything else happen in that interaction? That was basically it, right?
In that specific interaction, I don't think so. But the understory to all of this is that this is when Simeon Lee had called the police and said, hey, come with a cover story. But they weren't asking for donations. He was going to tell them about the missing diamonds at that point.
Yes. And the other thing is that when old man Lee was showing Pilar, the beautiful Pilar, all of his diamonds, Horbury was like right outside the door listening. And you find out that Horbury is always like listening to everything that old man Simeon Lee is doing. So you're kind of like, okay, he probably knows about those diamonds.
Yeah.
He's very squirrely about it. And then he has a pretty good alibi because he leaves every Friday, which is the end of his shift. So he leaves and then he went to the movies, he said, on a date with someone. So assuming that that all checks out, that's a pretty good alibi.
Really?
For the murder.
I thought he seemed the most suspicious.
For the murder. Well, I mean, if he has an alibi during the time period.
Maybe not the most suspicious, but he definitely seemed really nervous. And the the most suspicious thing about his alibi was they were like, do you know anything about diamonds? He said, no, of course not. And then they kept asking him other questions. And then they said, did this happen before or after the diamonds were stolen? He said, oh, after. Then they said, oh, you knew about the diamonds. And he said, oh, no.
Yes, I think he stole the diamonds,
Oh, you do?
but I don't know that he murdered.
Hmm. Tough to say.
So yeah, because Perot kind of breaks it down. He's like, it's either the murderer and the thief are the same. There's two people, or it's just a murderer. So
Hmm.
I'm in the camp of I think it's two different people. And I don't think that they knew. I think someone planned to kill Simeon Lee and they weren't expecting this diamond kerfuffle,
Hmm. I
which
still,
actually that might work out to their benefit.
yeah, it throws the police off their tracks a little bit.
Yeah.
I still think Simeon Lee is behind it. He planned it all. He's the murderer,
Interesting.
thief, and
Like he
victim.
like he asked Horbury to do it or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll keep you in the
I
will
don't think
if you
Horbury. Yeah. But I think
yeah,
somebody.
somebody. I could see that.
Okay. And then, okay, so we've gone over all the characters.
All over all the characters. Yeah, so let's go to the top and talk about the alibis.
Okay.
So we started with
Horbury.
David.
Oh, okay.
Or do you want to work
Well,
backwards?
no,
Maybe
no.
we should work
I thought
backwards.
you were just saying we've already done Horbury. So that was like the top. Was there
Yeah.
anything else for Horbury though? I think we should go from the top again. That's a good refresher on all the
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, all I wrote was old ninja butler for grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, he is the one who gets his dinner ready. He's usually the last one who sees grandpa.
Oh,
Except on
yeah.
Friday, someone
Hmm.
else does the dinner or something. Oh, no, he did the
Yeah.
dinner this Friday, but someone else gets grandpa ready for bed.
Hmm.
Yeah, one of the other maids.
That's when I was thinking it was poison. I was like, whoop.
Could be.
But unless this poison makes your throat be slashed.
That would be
No.
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to David.
Yeah. So David was playing piano, but he was playing a death march.
Just what was on his mind at the time.
Yeah. So that was like a little odd.
Right. And Tesselian mentions it. He's like, I thought it was kind of strange that he was playing the Death March. But
Hmm. Now, everyone's assuming that as long as they could hear the music, that meant that David was at the piano,
that's
but
true.
that doesn't guarantee.
That's true. But Hilda was there with him, right? Isn't that her alibi also? He was playing
Let's
music for
see.
her.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be just as simple as like they're just saying that.
Right. No, they could totally be in cahoots together. But yeah, some people in their
Yeah.
alibis mentioned, oh, yeah, David was playing music. But you're right. Could have been a record playing, and they would never know. Maybe the only records
Yeah.
Simeon Lee had was the Death March, and David was like, oh, come on.
All right, let's see. I think I think just the high point. So I think we have David. He was playing the Death March on piano, and then it rolls right into Hilda on 125.
It's also interesting when they're describing the murder because everyone heard all the furniture get turned over, and then they heard this like blood curdling scream. And then someone
Hmm.
described the scream like a soul in hell. And Hilda Lee said it was worse than that. It was like someone who had no soul. It was inhuman, like a beast. And so apparently the scream was just the worst thing ever.
Interesting.
So maybe it wasn't even a scream. Maybe it was another recording.
Or maybe it was like maybe he got his throat slashed and then they got like an animal scream and
Oh,
they slaughtered an
maybe.
animal or
Oh
something
my gosh. Oh
at
my
the
gosh.
same
Oh my gosh.
time.
Yeah. It's not actually his blood because they mention that on the murder scene. They say, wow, that's a lot of blood for
Oh,
just a slit to the throat. Why is it on the couch? Why is
yeah.
it everywhere in the room? It's because they murdered an animal.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Oh,
So
interesting.
right.
Like a
Oh
pig
my
or
gosh. Oh my gosh.
something.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So did you watch Knives Out?
Yes. This is kind of based on that, so just be careful.
Is it actually based off of it? Because I thought, I mean, she's had like 100 books. I can't believe
I
we're
think it's like a conglomeration of
okay.
books.
Because I do have an idea, but I think I got it from the movie. So maybe I won't say it.
Don't say it, and once we read the rest of it, then we can find out.
Okay. That sounds good.
You can come back and say what your theory was if it
It
wasn't
was
it.
totally the right
So just
one.
jot it down. Okay, so now it's it's Alfred and Lydia.
hmm
Alfred starts on 94.
Well, I remember their alibis, pretty sure.
Okay, what was theirs?
So Alfred, everyone had just finished dinner and then everyone kind of went their own separate ways. Alfred and Harry, the prodigal son, they stayed back in the dining room and they started having not an altercation, but things got pretty heated between them because they were talking about family matters.
Hmm.
And so Stephen had been there, but he was like, I'll leave because it seems like these are family matters to discuss. So
Hmm.
that left Alfred and Harry talking to each other. And then his wife Lydia went into the whatever sitting room to have coffee, and no one else was with her. One of the servants was able to support her alibi though, because like, oh yeah, I saw Lydia in there. She was just staring out the window, and she heard David playing the music.
Yeah, two people said that their alibi was the telephone, but they only have one
hmm
telephone. So
It
that's what I'm
was
trying to find out.
that was George and Magdalene, right?
Oh,
I think it was George and Magdalene, the married couple, which I'm
okay.
like, you guys didn't get your alibis straight?
What? Okay.
Unless they just missed each other in the telephone room.
I mean, it's possible.
Maybe. It's possible. Okay, so anything else on Alfred and Lydia's alibi?
No, no, I think that's it. Hmm. All right. And then who else do we have? Now we have George.
Harry? Oh, George. Yeah, George and Magdalene.
Yeah.
Magdalene seemed pretty suspicious here, right?
Magdalene seemed mega suspicious because she was like pointing at everyone else, I think. Was she the one pointing at everyone else and then not at her and
Yes.
George? And you're like,
Yes.
okay, that's like the most suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so George said he was in the dining room at the time of the crime. It was just after dinner. Then he says, "No, I had just finished telephoning. I was in this room." And then he saw that he had made a call to the conservative agent in Western Ham. So for something with politics.
I didn't know that's where he had called because that's exactly where Magdalene says she called. She said, I made a call
Oh,
to Westringham. I don't know why they
um,
didn't communicate better.
it kind of sounds like they were in on it, and one of them messed it up. One of them, like George was supposed to be in the dining room, and then he was like, "Oh, actually, I was on the phone. I was calling these people." And then Magdalene comes in after him, and she's like, "That's my alibi."
Well, she messes up too. Because at first she says, Oh, I was in the drawing room. And they said, Are you sure? And she said, Oh, wait, no. How silly of me. I was telephoning. I was calling Westringham.
Oh my
So I don't
God.
know what these people were doing.
They are suspicious, definitely.
They're super suspicious. Do you think, okay, and their incentive for murdering him is that they were about to get their allowance cut.
Yeah, and they're already kind of like broke.
Right. So they definitely have the incentive. Do you actually think they did it though?
No, I think it's a red herring.
I think it's too obvious.
I think it's too obvious as well.
But why were their alibis not good? They must have been doing something else suspicious then, I think. But maybe not murder suspicious.
Oh,
Unless they stole the diamonds. And that would be suspicious. They were hiding their diamonds. So they had to have another alibi.
yeah. George seemed pretty caught off guard when he found out that the diamonds were taken. Are you aware that these stones have disappeared? George's jaw dropped. His protuberant eyes stared. Then he was murdered for them? And then he's like, but I don't understand. So it sounded like he was like legitimately surprised by that.
Yeah. Magdalene also, though, seemed very surprised by that. So
Yeah.
maybe they spent all their acting skills on acting surprised and they didn't save any for their alibi.
That could be. I like what you're saying where they're doing something else sneaky.
I think so. I think
Like they're
so.
doing I don't know what other sneaky thing they would be doing.
Maybe they're like look rifling through all of his things looking for his will or something.
Oh, maybe.
That could be it. But I kind of feel like that'd
Yeah.
be a better alibi. But I guess no one could verify that that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, that just seems better than a lie.
It just seems odd that they would say the same thing if they hadn't like talked about it. Like, oh, I'm gonna tell them that I was calling the government. And then she was like, okay, I'm gonna tell them I was in the drawing room. And then they both are like lying, so they mixed
Yeah,
it up.
right.
And they couldn't remember which one it was or something.
That's so hilarious. Yeah, I think so.
But like what were they actually covering up if not the murder? You know?
Were they helping? Were they an accomplice to the murder?
Or that could be.
They could have been helping the person get out or get in.
Well, I think the other phone is in the office.
That's right. It's in Simeon Lee's room, right?
Yeah, so maybe they were talking to the killer, working with
Oh,
them.
I bet you're right. I bet you're right. That's a great idea. What would they have needed to
Interesting.
say?
I don't know. Like, hey, I'm gonna do it now. Like, make sure you're ready, or I don't know. Like setting it up, making
Get your
sure,
alibi straight.
yeah, the coast is clear. Is
Yeah, yeah,
everyone
maybe something like that.
downstairs? You know,
I
like
could
the dad had
see.
been dead for a while, and he's like, I'm gonna kill the pig and stage the thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, the only hole with the pig theory is that the room was pretty locked up tight. I don't know where you would put a dead pig.
A big house like that, I bet there's a secret entrance.
Yeah, I was thinking there's a secret thing in the roof, like you climb out that way,
Yeah.
like through the attic or something.
Yeah, like a false door. I feel like those types of homes at that time would have little hideaways, ways to
Yeah,
get
I
out.
think so.
And maybe only, so it would have to be someone who knew the house.
Mm. George
So
and Lydia hadn't been there.
they hadn't been there in a long time. I mean, maybe it's like something that they knew about as kids, or maybe part of it was thinking all the kids are kind of in on it together.
That could be.
Like we hate our dad.
That would be the biggest twist. Everyone had played a little part in it.
Yeah, because it feels like David and Hilda would know if there was a secret passageway that you could get in and out of, like the office.
You mean Alfred and Lydia would know?
Alfred and Lydia, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I bet they would know.
And Lydia was outside looking at the window.
Making
Maybe
sure the
she's trying
killer
to see,
escaped.
yeah, make sure that like he got out with the pig.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I
I
think that
like
could make
that.
sense.
Okay. So Magdalene and George,
Sound
sketchy.
guilty.
Yeah. Stephen also sounds really sketchy.
Oh yeah, yeah. He
I
does.
like your idea that he's an imposter. And I think even Poirot was like, we need to get like you checked out to make sure you really are who you
Yeah.
are.
They needed the fingerprints.
Yeah, but I was like, he's definitely who he is. I didn't even think he'd be an imposter. I was like, how would he even pull that off? But I see what you're saying about
It just
like a
shows up.
long, yeah, or like a long lost kid.
Yeah. But he would need to know because Stephen Lee came and I forget if he had a letter. Maybe he didn't have a letter or something, but apparently Simeon Lee had told his business partner, Ebenezer, he was like, hey, your kid, if he's ever in England, just tell him to come by whenever. So whoever, if this is an imposter, you'd have to know that,
Yeah.
which
It
you could, I don't know.
it could be Steven. Maybe maybe Ebenezer got screwed because I think
But no, it
Old
just
Man
sounds funny.
Lee. Oh, he got screwed instead of
Yeah.
Scrooge.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. A different holiday classic. So I think Old Man Lee was like, "Oh yeah, my business partner, he made money. He's like not as much as me, but he made some good money." So I could
hmm
see maybe there's like some jealousy where Steven's like, you ran off with like more than your share or
I
something."
think so. Yeah, no, I think Simeon definitely wasn't fair to Ebenezer because Simeon doesn't seem fair to anybody.
Yeah. So I could definitely see that. That would be interesting.
Yeah. But his actual alibi, he was like, yeah, I was in the dining room with Harry and Alfred, but then they started discussing family matters. So then I decided to go up and listen to what was it? The gramophone?
The gramophone, what
Or,
Agatha Christie hates.
yes, he must be the murderer if she hates gramophones and he's listening
Honestly,
to
you're
it.
right. You're
I
right.
think
She has
so.
bad taste.
Uh-huh. Yeah, not a guy you want to hang around with. And so he started playing music in hopes that Pilar would show up and they could dance together because they had danced together the night before.
Hmm. And then Harry says, because they say the door was locked from the outside. What? Harry stared, but I'll swear the key was on the inside. And then Perot's like, you noticed that? And then he's just like, yeah, I noticed little things like that.
Yeah, Harry, that was a suspicious moment from Harry. Have we gone over Harry's alibi?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Harry. No, we're talking about
No, we were
Stephen.
talking about
Whoops.
yeah, Stephen.
Whoops. You can see it's easy to get confused. Okay, so what
I
was
know.
Stephen's alibi? Was that he and
He
Pilar were listening to the gramophone?
he was saying I put on the gramophone hoping that someone would come join me and we could dance. And they say, "Ah, yes, Pilar." He says, "Oh, yes, the beauty."
Ugh.
So Pilar
Yeah, and
wasn't there.
Pilar wasn't there. Yeah, and he was like, it would be impossible for me to get from turning on the gramophone all the way up and murder the man within 2.5 minutes. And I was like,
Like, that's a weird thing to say.
yeah, like you're saying too much, my friend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine though? You just show up at this man's house. You've never seen him before. Then he gets murdered and now you're like prime suspect.
That would freak me out.
Yeah.
I would be a wreck. I know. They would be like, you're guilty. And I'd be like, yeah, probably.
I
Like
don't
at this
remember
point,
it,
I don't
but
know. I don't remember. Yeah,
could be.
I'm so stressed out. Okay, so now there's Pilar. Pilar didn't have a good alibi, but she was kind of like no motive, as I think how she kind of skirted out of here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so her alibi was she just went back to her room to get her face ready or something.
She said she got her face ready, and then I thought she said that she did something else after that, and then it turned out that was a lie or something.
Um, Let me see here.
Oh, and she was like kind of talking about like bloodthirsty.
Oh,
She seemed
she
like,
is wild.
yeah,
Yeah, so when she was traveling from Spain, her cab driver, like a bomb dropped on them. And so he like blew up and she was like, it was so exciting. It was such a great day. And everyone's like, what? And she's like, yeah, it was like highlight of my week. And then she shows up here and there's all this blood and murder. And she was like, it was amazing. And they're kind of like, are you okay?
yeah,
And she's like, yeah, what's not to love?
yeah. She
So
was like kooky.
yeah. So she kind of has some weird things going on. Um,
Oh, she went into the drawing room with Lydia. Then she went to the room to do her face. Then she was going to dance with Steven. And then as she was going to quote unquote dance with Steven, then she heard the scream.
mm-hmm. Right. Yes, that's what happened.
So she was trying to get everyone as her alibi.
Yeah. And also they say, hey, did you know about the diamonds? And she said, oh, yes, I did. And they said, did you know it was stolen? She said, oh, no. They said, any idea who stole it? And she said, Horbury. Like she did not hesitate at all. And she said, Horbury's definitely the one. He has the face of a thief. He's like a cat, and all cats are thieves. That's what she
Oh,
says.
I know. I honestly though, I was like, cats are thieves. They're always stealing stuff. They're like, everything's mine. I'm not stealing.
They got it. Okay, so is Harry the last one? Have we
I
gone
think
over
Harry's the
Harry?
last one. Mm-mm. Well,
Okay,
Harry was with
Alfred.
Alfred,
Yeah, so they had the same
technically.
story.
Yeah.
So nothing too new there. But Harry and Alfred did see the grandpa one more time after the big family meeting. I think they had
Yes.
gone to help him with something.
Yeah.
So they had that extra tidbit going for them.
Hmm.
Okay. So what are you thinking?
It's definitely hard to make a decisive decision with just these pieces. Part of me is thinking that Grandpa hid the diamonds, or I kind of feel like he hid the diamonds to cause more drama and wasn't expecting to be murdered.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. You think so?
I think so. I think because I think he just got such a kick out of ruffling people's feathers, and he was like, "I'm going to change the will the day after Christmas," and
Yeah.
he knew he was going to plot his death for that night.
Mm.
So that way, yeah. So he was making up everybody's motives that whole day. He said, "You guys are going to be so angry at me. You're going to be angry at each other. I'm going to change the will. I brought in these two new people into the family." And so now he just like dropped a bomb and left. He was like, "I'm kind of done living. This is all I want."
Yeah, like I'm all old and crotchety.
Mm-hmm. He's like, "This is how I want to go out."
I could see that.
I think
He
that's the
just seemed
twist.
like a jerk. Yeah, he just seemed like a jerk. Okay, so
But
that's
who,
one theory. Oh, go for it.
wait, but with that theory, who would he get to help him? Because he couldn't have moved all the furniture on his own. He may or may not have been able to cut his own throat. There was
I
no
don't think
murder
you'd be able
weapon
to.
found in the room either. That was a big
I don't.
thing.
I don't think you mentally could do that, even if
Yeah.
you wanted to.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. Can't do
I
that.
don't think you could do that. I could see Tresemme, the old man butler, giving him poison or something so he's dead,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
giving him poison so he dies, and then he slits the throat, slits the pig, and then he knows about the secret passageway, and then he gets out. Where was Tresemme?
He was cleaning everything, pretty sure. Right, because he knew where everyone else was. Okay, Candy, can I
Yeah,
tell you something?
go for it.
That was a theory I was thinking of earlier,
Oh, really?
but I wasn't sure if that was from the movie or not.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I came up with it.
No, I texted it to myself. I
No, but
think
it's
that
good
one's right.
because I said it, so now you can say it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's another little tidbit with that. So they said that Simeon Lee had rheumatoid arthritis, so that he couldn't do anything. He had rheumatoid arthritis. And you know
Hmm.
what Tresillian said when I think like the police came or something? The police were like, "Oh, it's going to be extra cold tonight. At least it'll be in the season." And Tresillian said, "Oh, the damp affects my rheumatism." So I think they had like the same medicine or
Mm.
something. So it would have been easier for him to like switch out the medicine or give him extra medicine. I think that could be
Oh,
related.
that could be interesting. So do you think Tresemme would be in on it with?
I think so. I think Simeon Lee already changed his will and he put Tresemme in it as number one.
Uh,
So Tresemme is going to carry out my last call.
I could see that.
And this was it.
Yeah, because he would be the least suspected because
Mm-hmm.
he's so old. He could have the pig run around. He could like give it medicine so that it starts squealing or something. Run around, cause
Oh.
all this mess, slash it, get the blood everywhere, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
run off with the pig and the murder weapon in the
Yeah. In the
hidden
secret passageway.
corridor. Yeah.
Yeah. He put it on like the dumbwaiter thing. You know that thing where you like bring up
Oh,
food?
yeah, yeah, the dumbwaiter.
Yeah, I don't know if they have that in this house, but they might.
They probably do.
Sounds like they would. But they always brought
Yeah,
his food up to him. They didn't use the dumbwaiter.
I know, but they
Dumbwaiter.
probably, I think it's just dumbwaiter.
I thought it was dumbwaiter. I thought there was an O in
Dumbo?
there. Yeah, Dumbo waiter.
Mm-mm,
Like automatic.
mm-mm.
You're right. It's just a dumb waiter. Are you kidding? That's kind of a mean.
I know.
Just the dumb waiter.
Just a dumbwaiter. I know.
That's kind of funny. Okay, so I really like that theory.
I like that one too. I kind of like, it doesn't really explain the plot or the purpose of like bringing everyone together to do this thing, like one last hurrah, like one last stick it to the family, I guess.
I think so. I think that kind of makes sense.
Like he's just like such a jerk. Like that's just what he wants his last little thing to be.
Yeah. That sounds like in line with everything else.
Yeah.
That's how I was thinking of it.
Yeah.
Do we think Tresemme stole the diamonds?
I don't know. I don't think so. My gut instinct is the diamonds are separate, but based on what Old Man Lee said, everything he was plotting, it kind of seems like he needed the diamonds stolen so he could call the police and have this murder. It now that we're
Hmm.
saying it, it really does seem like Old Man Lee has to be in on it somehow.
I think it sounds like he's planning all of it.
I'm wondering if the diamonds are even stolen.
They're just hidden.
Yeah, he just
I think
moved them.
hidden makes the most sense. There's lots of places to hide it. Okay, big hole in our Tresemme theory.
Okay.
So the first time when we first hear about the murder, it's all through Tresemme's perspective. And he's like, I was cleaning the house and I heard David playing on the piano. He said, oh my gosh, what's that ruckus upstairs? So we know for a fact Tresemme was not at the scene of the murder.
Okay.
But he could still be in on it, but he wasn't the actual one to do it.
He could be in on it. It could be his little the ninja butler.
Yeah, I could see that. Tresemme was the headmaster, but they
Yeah.
got what's his face? Ninja Butler to do
Horbury.
it.
Horbury,
Horbury.
the ninja butler. Yeah.
That
I
makes
could
sense
see
to me.
that. Yeah. And they could be like, listen, we're gonna do this crazy thing. I'm gonna be dead. You're gonna slash my throat. You're gonna kill this pig. You're gonna put it in the dumbwaiter. You're gonna go into the hidden thing. And he's just like sweating like a leaf. And he gets in there and he's like, okay, I have to do it now.
Like, we know you've only been here for a year, but this is how it is.
Yeah. Now, what if, all right, different theory. What if Lydia and Alfred, they've been living there for a year. They're like,
Mm,
Lydia, wait, it was George and Magdalene who were on the phone.
yep.
No, because I was thinking maybe Lydia and Alfred hired Horbury, the ninja butler, in
Oh, a
order
year in
to be
advance.
their like their
Housemaid
accomplice.
style.
Yeah,
Horbury's actually been a known murderer in the business.
yeah. They're or they like, I don't know. They hired him and they were like, if you do this murder, then we'll like cut you in on it. And they like help set him up.
Pretty big ask. Okay, and they're doing it for what? So that they get their bigger
Because,
inheritance?
well, who was I saying this was?
Alfred and
Alfred and
Lydia.
Lydia. Yeah, because they live with him and Lydia doesn't respect Alfred because the dad's being so mean to him. It sounds like he's like ruining their lives.
It does. So that's reason
And
enough to kill him. They wouldn't wait until after Christmas.
well, maybe they heard the will was going to get changed and they're like, we have to do it tonight.
Yeah, that can make sense. We have the pig ready.
Yeah, yeah, the Christmas
It's gonna
pig.
be, yeah, it's gonna be for the Christmas feast, but
Tresame's going to cook it tomorrow.
we'll just get a head start on it.
Yeah, hide all the evidence. We'll eat it. Um, that wouldn't make sense for the police calling component.
What do you mean?
Like maybe, I mean, maybe old man Simeon just called the police and was like, show up at 9 o'clock and be like so weird and precise. And it was just a
Mm,
coincidence.
right. Yeah, that's right. I do feel like Simeon needs to be in on it. I don't think it's just a simple, I don't like this guy, so I killed him. There's
Yeah.
some layers to it.
And Stephen was very suspicious. I think, if anything, I think Stephen probably stole the diamonds.
I could see that. Why? Just for more money? Maybe that was the revenge he came to do. He came to
Yeah.
maybe yeah, because the diamonds were from South Africa. He knew that
Yeah.
Simeon Lee stole the diamonds from his father. So he came
Yeah.
to steal the diamonds back. And now the guy got murdered. He's like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
This
And
looks
maybe that's why he's
suspicious.
like, yeah, he's being,
Mm.
because he's like, "Ugh!" And so, because he's
Oh,
guilty of something.
I think that's a really good idea.
And then Horbury is in on the plot to kill him. So that's why he's all sweating and
Hmm.
nervous.
So you think during his little movie trip, he actually just said, I'm going to the bathroom, but then he actually went out and murdered someone and came back?
Yeah,
Wow. Pretty
I know.
sneaky.
And Perot said he's like, well, that means that whoever his date alibi is he has to be really convinced that she'll attest that he was there with her the whole time.
Hmm.
So they're going to follow up on that. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Unless he just really, he was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And she's like, wow, you're kind of gone a while. He's like, oh, terrible indigestion. She's like, okay.
Oh my God. I'm imagining they're on like a country estate with like a horse and buggy. Like I don't know how fast you can get
You
to
can
and from the
run.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So it
mean, good
kind of
point.
feels like now I'm feeling he has a good alibi, but he was so nervous about the police. Unless he and Steven were in on it together
That could be it.
because he's only been there for a year.
Do you think Horbury, yeah, he went in there to scope out the place to learn all the secret
Hmm.
passageways? Oh, I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah. And then he told Steven and they were going to steal the diamonds and split it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I could see that.
I like that idea a lot.
I like that one a lot too.
Okay, so Horbury and Stephen went in on it together to steal the diamonds and then split the diamonds, but they didn't
Yeah.
murder.
But they didn't murder.
Possibly Tresemme and Simeon planned the murder together.
Hmm. As just a big middle finger to all of his rotten kids.
Yeah, exactly. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Yep. I think the next person who has the most motive would be Lydia and Alfred, more so than
Oh,
David and Hilda, in my opinion.
and more so than George and Magdalene, because they didn't have a very good alibi.
Not more than George and Magdalene. Between Hilda and Alfred, or I'm sorry, Alfred and Lydia and George and Magdalene. So the loyal brother and the politician brother. I think they're probably tied
Yeah,
for
I can see
benefit
that.
of dad going away
Yeah,
and the will changing.
right. Yeah, that could make sense. Is there any, what do you think about Harry though? Because I feel like it can't be the obvious people. Harry would benefit from the dad not dying so that the dad could change the will and write Harry back into it.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling Harry doesn't even care about the will.
No. No. I feel like Harry has To me, he has like no motive. I would be shocked if he un and he was talking to Alfred.
Yeah, it's true. He has a really good alibi.
And Harry and Alfred were always at odds, right?
Right. Maybe they went on it together.
Because that's what I was wondering. I was like, maybe they like came in on it together. Let's kill dad and split the goods. And they're each other's
Oh,
alibi. But if they hate each other's stinking guts, that seems unlikely, unless they're just hamming it up.
right. Also, other people verified their alibi. They're like, yeah, David and Alfred were talking together. Or no, Harry and Alfred were talking together.
Yeah.
So they'd have to be real quick, I guess.
Yeah. That feels unlikely. So if
Or
it
they hired
wasn't,
someone.
yeah, I feel like George and Magdalene have the weakest alibi and the most motive. So I would be, my biggest suspicion, I think, is on them now for the murder.
But that makes me the least suspicious of them because, of course, they're the most obvious.
Maybe they weren't on the phone with the government. Maybe they were on the phone with their assassin.
Yeah, I liked your idea
I
about the
mean,
other phone in the room. I think that's
yeah,
great. I think that's a really good point.
yeah. Like maybe they hired someone to come in and kill Grandpa.
I think it has to be someone who's in the house, though. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm feeling.
It'd be really hard. It would be really hard to know about the secret passageway and to slice the pig throat and put it in the dumbwaiter if you've never been in there before. It'd be really hard. That's a lot of steps.
Yeah. Do you think any of the really minor maid characters will come into this?
I don't think so. If anything, just to be eyes and ears on the floor like little spies for us
Hmm.
to let us know what's going on. I don't think that the maids or anyone are in on it
You don't think
unless
they
it's
delivered the
Tresemme or
medicine
Horbury. I think it would just be
that poisoned
maybe
them? Poisoned
maybe
him?
like unknowingly,
Yeah,
but I don't think
that
so.
can make sense.
I feel really good about the Stephen and Horbury
I like that.
team up diamond. That's the only thing I feel
Hmm.
good about right now.
Yeah, me too. And that Simeon was in on it.
Yeah. I feel like Simeon has to be in on it. Well, if we're saying that Stephen and Horbury stole the diamonds, now he doesn't have to be in on it,
Oh.
right? Because the only reason why we were like really sold on that is because he's being so weird about
He was
come
telling
at
the
nine
police to
o'clock.
come back. Yeah.
But maybe he was just like that is his normal reaction to diamonds being stolen is to be strange.
Yeah. Well, so Simeon Lee thought that either a family member or a servant had stolen the diamonds.
Hmm.
Horbury could fit in the servant category. I don't know if he would consider Stephen. He said, "Oh, Stephen, you're like family," but I don't think in this case he would say Stephen was a family member.
No, the other thing that I was thinking was that Pilar, she seems to have sticky fingers
Mm.
because in like the crime scene, she had picked up something
Oh, that's right.
and the constable was like, "Give me that." And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "In your hand." And she's like, "Oh, oops, this." So I had kind
Yeah.
of thought when Grandpa was showing Pilar the diamonds that she slipped a few of the diamonds and memorized the lock code.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
So I could see her coming back after the fact, some point at some point, and pilfering the diamonds.
Yeah, I could believe that.
So I could see that. And they talk about how she has no money and she's an orphan now.
Oh, they always talk about how poor she is. She said she was just wearing a little shambly white dress, but she still looked beautiful in it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like in the cheapest material. She's in like a costume material, but she's like Sofia Vergara, super hot. So she
Yeah.
still looks amazing.
Always beautiful.
Yeah.
I
All
like
right, let's
these
see. Anything
theories.
else?
I
I think
kind
we
of
have a couple good
think
ones.
I think those are good. Yeah, I feel good about our theories.
Yeah. What are you thinking about the book so far?
I like it. Yeah. I I feel like, let's see. Does it remind me of Housemaid? It doesn't suck me in the same way as Housemaid, but I feel like I really like the writing style. Like I feel like this is a good quality book, like it's a good mystery.
Yes, I think it's very interesting. You can tell Agatha Christie's very smart. She
Mm-hmm.
writes very she writes very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't feel as much of like as garbage food as like Frida McFadden books,
Right.
you know?
I think so too. I wonder how this compares. Like, is this can't just be how people talked in the 1920s. Although I do feel like that's probably at least part of it.
I think that's
Like people
definitely
just
part of
talked
it.
nicer back then.
Yeah. I think that's definitely part of it. And especially like I think there was a big hmm, not divergence between
Mm.
like the lay people speak and the rich people speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was part of like their classism in my
Mm.
mind is like, we speak this way. This is how you speak in high society,
So that's how Agatha Christie was writing.
writing and speaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it
That
sounds
makes
like just
sense.
so smart and like, but yeah. So I don't know. But I read it this morning within like an hour or 2 hours. Like it went fast, even though it was like 150 pages
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to like Fox's Tongue, which was like,
Oh,
that was
200
really
total.
200 total. And it was a slog the first 100 because it's so confusing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, no, this one was great. I really like it. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I feel like there's enough layers to keep it really interesting, but it becomes so repetitive where she keeps mentioning like, oh, David, he was playing piano. So you remember, oh yeah, David, the artist brother. To where like it makes
Yes.
sense.
Exactly. Exactly. I know. Because at first I was like, wow, this is so many characters, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, okay, it's not that bad once you start
Yeah. She does
getting
a good
into it.
job of like, yeah, really making sure you know who everyone is.
Yeah,
Okay, so are we finishing it for next time?
I think so.
Wow. All
Yeah,
right. Well, we'll see which of our theories are right.
I know. Well, so join us next time. We'll wrap up this Hercule Poirot's Christmas. In the meantime, make sure to please review our pod on Spotify. We need a couple more 5 stars. We got another one. Thank you to whoever did that, but we need more.
Woohoo.
We got a couple low ones in there, so now we need like 500 to offset that. So,
It's the only way.
yes, if you haven't done it, it's a little tricky. You hit the dots and then you hit rate. So it's different from follow. Also do that while you're there.
And send us an email, bookalicious.pod@gmail.com. Love hearing from you.
Oh,
Answer our
yeah,
poll.
we're gonna
Mhm.
do end of year questions
Oh,
if we hit some.
yeah. Email us questions. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, we'll do an episode. It'll be cool.
Yay.
Join friend of the pod tier with F. Smith, Anna, and Meg.
Yep. It's an exclusive club.
Yeah, you can join it too if you send us an email with a 5 star review.
That's all that's required to be our friend.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the
That's a different denotion. Very
That's true.
exclusive.
Very true. Okay. Well, this was fun.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.